from California, sunny San Diego, California. I'd like to go briefly through a presentation. We're going to be primarily focusing on the STEM fields here at Cal State San Marcos. We do have other programs as well. So shall I advance the screens or will you do that? Okay, so these are our contact people at the university. Where are we located? Beautiful Cal State San Marcos is located just north of downtown San Diego. So we're about 30 minutes to downtown and about 2 hours to Los Angeles. And we're only 15 minutes to the beach and about an hour and a half to the mountains. So you kind of get the best of both worlds when it comes to these things. As you can see, the average temperature in beautiful San Diego is between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius. Not too hot, not too cold, as we like to say. We do have access to wonderful recreation, particularly outdoor recreation, but SeaWorld, the famous San Diego Zoo, Disneyland is only about 45 minutes from us. And if you're a student either at the undergraduate or graduate level, you don't need to worry about getting a car because we have our own train that literally will take you into downtown or throughout the United States through connection with Amtrak, which is the national train system. Some quick facts: we're a medium-sized public university, 17,000 students and about 400 international students. 150 students participate in our language program. So students who, and we'll go into more detail on this, but if students need a little bit of boost in terms of their language abilities and whatnot, we do have a language program at our university that's available. 54 countries represented and students from all over the world. We're a relatively new campus, as you can see from some of the photos there, which means that we have state-of-the-art technology throughout all of the facilities on campus. Very innovative curriculum, and we are also recognized by the Carnegie Foundation for our community engagement. So our students don't live within the four walls of the campus, so to speak. They're out there in the community, they're doing internships, volunteer work, etc. And because we only offer degrees up to the master's level, we are surprisingly punching above our weight in terms of faculty-driven research. And when I say faculty, a lot of times that includes both undergraduate and graduate students as well, as far as research is concerned. Some campus highlights: very small classes. Even though we're a public university in the state of California, you can see the class size is only typically 24 students per faculty member, so they really get to know you quite well. Again, very well regarded in terms of our applied research. 99% of our faculty members have their degrees, their doctorate degrees, and then we do pull in individuals from the outside community who are specialists in their field to kind of augment what our faculty members are teaching. We are the safest university again in California for 4 years in a row. And then in terms of job placements, we're very proud of the fact that we rank 13th in the nation in terms of promotion and whatnot. Again, you're allowed, as you may hear throughout the presentations, the opportunity to get between 1 and 3 years of work experience upon completion of your studies, and that's called optional practical training. We do have on-campus accommodations. As you can see, these are apartment-style accommodations. You can share a room. We have plenty of apartments off campus. We also have host families, which are also available for perhaps some of the undergraduate students whose parents are a little bit nervous about not having mom and dad with them. We do have host families available. These are all of our subject areas, as you can see, and I won't go into all of these details because we're going to focus on the STEM areas, but as you can see, we're a comprehensive university. At the master's, these are our master's level programs, and some of them are 2 years in length and some of them are a year in length, like our MBA. So focusing on the STEM areas, our chemistry program, for example, we offer both a bachelor's degree in chemistry and biochemistry. And as you can see, you're using the spectrometers, you're using all of those high-tech equipment that are typically found in laboratories as far as chemistry is concerned. One of our unique and very popular courses in the chemistry department is Science of Chocolate. So the students actually go out and they do a critique of the processes involved, the chemical processes involved in chocolate. In fact, a faculty member is leading a group of students to Ecuador next summer to look how the Ecuadorians deal with chocolate and the processes and whatnot. And there are teacher training opportunities as well. So even some of our fourth year students have an opportunity to work as assistants with the faculty members. At the graduate level, you take the regular chemistry coursework. A lot of field research involved in this. We just don't want you necessarily in a lab looking through a microscope. We're getting you out into the the wonderful biotechnology companies and whatnot that are prevalent throughout San Diego. You do have a thesis defense. And again, both at the undergraduate and graduate level, you have 3 years of work opportunity. Our master's program dovetails very nicely into PhD programs. The University of California, San Diego, for example, just down the street from us, does offer a PhD program. We've been very successful in placing our students there. Software and electrical engineering, these are undergraduate programs. Obviously, software engineering, more in terms of the creative side, as I like to say. Security, building security as far as web platforms, etc. And then the electrical, obviously, and there is Dr. Reza, who works with our students in the electrical engineering program. Very well designed, brand new facilities for our engineering program. It is our newest program at the university. You start out with computer science coursework as your first year for foundation purposes and whatnot, and then you pair off into either software or electrical engineering. Our computer science students can choose from computer science or computer information systems. And as you can see the difference between those, the computer information system students do embed some business coursework into their program, which is quite unique. And that really gives students a leg up as far as placements at maybe not a tech company per se, but banking industry, for example, or government, where you have both the computer science aspects, but also some business. Our biotechnology program, similar to our computer science program, where they also embed business courses into the sciences, these students have an extremely high rate of placement because of this blending of both their business as well as the science courses. Rest assured, those courses are geared for science majors, not for your typical MBA student or business student. So the courses are geared for those individuals that may not necessarily have a business background. So don't be alarmed by that. As you can see with the master's program, you are also embedded into a required semester placement with a company. And with that company, they kind of get to test drive you to see how you're working out. If they like you, they can, obviously you can file for the work extension, OPT. And if they really, really like you, they can have you stay on through what we call the H-1B process. We have a master's in biology as well as an undergraduate program. The biology program obviously is more focused on the science area, immunology, parasitism. Some of our faculty and students are currently working on COVID research. We have a huge research center in the San Diego area through Scripps and some of the other research centers. And so our students have had the luxury of being able to go ahead and work on some of that activity. Our master's in mathematics, great opportunity for scholarships for this particular program. Again, it dovetails very nicely either into somebody who's interested in the teaching field or going on to do a PhD. Lots of services, career services, for example. We have our annual career fair. We have career center advisors who work specifically for you in your particular area. We have a professional mentorship program throughout these programs. So you're paired up with individuals, usually alumni, who've graduated from the program or out in the field, so that you can kind of have an opportunity to get to know what the possibilities are for work placement upon completion. Meet the Leaders series. These are generally people in the science areas or in the business community that come in and actually go ahead and do presentations about how they ended up getting into their fields and how they ended up becoming CFOs or CEOs of companies. And then of course our Alumni Association. We have our intensive English language program for those students that need a little bit of an extra boost, both at the undergraduate and master's level. So say if you are an undergraduate student or undergraduate TOEFL test, you don't quite have the requirements for the master's program, we can get you started into taking some either prerequisites for the master's or some of the master's courses while working on a focused area of like GRE prep or GMAT prep, as well as advanced English. If you're a student that just wants to come for a semester, those both our graduate and undergraduate programs are open for semester opportunities for students as well. So that is something that I would highly encourage you to go ahead and look at. Typical grade requirements, so a GPA of 3.0 on a 4-point scale in the United States. For undergraduate students, if you're coming from a university, 2.0. Some majors do require 2.75. Typically at the master's level, students we're looking at between a 2.75 and a 3.0. Minimum TOEFL for undergraduate students is 61. 80 for master's level students, 5.5 for IELTS, or a 6.0 for graduate level program. We also have our own English language assessment, and that can be done online. So you don't have to necessarily sit for the TOEFL or IELTS. Your application packet for the undergraduates and graduates usually requires an application. That application fee is being waived for international students. We will take unofficial copies of transcripts at this point, and then with the expectation that if you're accepted into the university, your mark sheets and whatnot, we will need those official application materials in order to issue what we call the I-20, which is the immigration document. We do not require SAT or ACT. Again, TOEFL or IELTS or an English proficiency, and your affidavit of financial support. Some programs do require an intent to enroll. That $150 is basically a way to reserve your seat for their program. Oftentimes that intent to enroll will count toward your tuition for your first semester. So it's like a deposit, I guess is how I would describe it. Cost of attendance at the undergraduate level, tuition and fees is about $17,206. At the master's level, it can be a little bit lower or a little bit higher depending on the program. Right? Room and board is an estimate about $13,228 and your living expenses. In order to secure a visa to come to the United States, you need to basically demonstrate about between $32,000 and $37,000 to come to Cal State San Marcos. Obviously, we have payment plans for students. You're not expected to write a check for that amount all at once. Our tuition payment plans, usually you pay over every 2 months for the program, and obviously with your housing, typically you pay on a monthly basis. We do have some scholarships and tuition scholarships and tuition fee waivers for students. We do have limited funding because we are a public university, but as you can see, our tuition is relatively low compared to many universities in the United States. Both at the undergraduate and graduate level, we do offer some tuition waivers. Those can be up to half of your tuition. So say if tuition is $17,000, it could be about $8,000 to $8,500. In addition to that, you are eligible for on-campus employment, which is 20 hours per week. So either at the graduate or undergraduate level, many of our international students after their first semester usually transition into work placements on campus. If you're really savvy, you can apply for a resident advisor positions. They give you free housing, free meals, plus $1,000 a month, and you get your own apartment. You do have to kind of do a little babysitting as far as the undergraduate students are concerned and do some programmatic stuff, but it's a great way to save some finances. There are additional scholarships out there, and I encourage you to go to our website to look at those. Your commitment, obviously, you need to be an agent of change. Here in the United States, as in some other countries, there's an expectation on the part of our faculty to have you actively engage in classroom participation and communication. So you're not going to be sitting in a large lecture and just looking at a boring PowerPoint. Faculty members are going to be pointing you out in the class and asking you questions and expecting you to work on group projects. Those things are really important. Time efficiency. So we actually have classes for our entering students as well, how to make the most of your time, especially if you're adjusting to a different educational system. And then we do have team members that support you, not only here in the international office, but throughout. And as a result, we have excellent success rate with our students graduating from Cal State San Marcos in a